everyone, and welcome to another episode of Living on Blockchain. Today, we are speaking to Cybershakti. Cybershakti, an NFT artist, and now she is also the founder of Lenspost. She's had quite a journey being one of the early NFT artists, even before the Beeple frenzy in March 21. So she's been around since 2020, and she's actually the only Indian artist who has been sold as Sotlis as well. This was a very interesting conversation just from the creator perspective, how the creator economy is changing the way people perceive Web3 and the way we perceive Web3, and how she kind of imagines the way forward for Lenspost as well as for her own journey. So a very interesting conversation, and all of you NFT buffs and NFT artists, really, I cannot recommend this enough. Very insightful as well. Hi, Shakti, how are you doing today?
Hi, Sarusha. Thank you for having me over. I'm doing amazing.
Awesome. So, for our listeners, can you tell us a little about yourself, your background, how you got into the Web3 space?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think a lot of people just know me as Cybershakti in the space, and I've been like into Web3 since 2020, and I started out as an NFT artist in this space. And when I started out, there were like very few people from India actually doing this, and NFTs were not mainstream because we all know the NFT boom happened in March 21 after the Beeple sale, right? But I was like sort of in the ecosystem and present, and making friends and connections and finding collectors all over the place. So I've been like pretty early, and I've seen the space evolve into what it's becoming. Not my first bear, as they say.
Awesome, brilliant. So, you've been around for a while as an NFT artist, and
Yeah.
initially, obviously, a lot of people didn't really take NFTs very seriously, right? And I think even I was a bit skeptical about the NFT craze in the beginning, and obviously, I kept saying that there might be more use cases that'll come out, and they have. But tell me a little about your journey specifically as an NFT artist. How did you, decide that, okay, this is what you want to do, and what has kept you going, even with so many naysayers around?
Right. So, I would like to answer this not as an NFT artist, but as somebody who has been in the space and observing the space.
Right.
So, honestly, like even in the beginning, when March 21 happened, and a lot of journalists were sort of, reaching out to me for my comments, because as I mentioned, there were not many Indians doing this at the time, right?
Yeah.
The problem that I found with the questions that they were asking me, you know the intent of people from the questions that they ask you.
Right.
And like and nobody wanted to know my journey as an artist, about the technology, about why I chose to be in NFTs and put out my work in NFTs. They just wanted to know, how much money did you make, how much money
Yeah.
can
Right. How much money can be potentially made? Yeah.
those were the only questions. And that time I backed off. I said, this is like, I do not want to propagate NFTs as a speculative asset as such,
Right.
right? But then
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is the way most of the market did go eventually, unfortunately. And when the market started dipping, you saw all these people and brands and no code solution founders sort of disappear and pivot to like AI and other stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's only the people who sort of understood that NFT is an instrument, it's a technology,
Right.
of it's a store of value on chain, which is very unique in nature. And even the way that we know NFTs has evolved so much, right? In the 3 years, like Pele, we knew that, okay, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. They sit
Hmm.
inside your wallet. But
Right.
now, over the 3 years, 3 years is like a lifetime in NFTs, right? We've seen so much
Hmm.
pivot happen that NFT, as we know it, is no longer the same. Like
Absolutely.
now NFT has like new standards come in, like ERC 6551. So earlier we used to say NFTs sit inside a wallet. Now NFTs have become a wallet.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's
Yeah,
been
and
quite an arc. Yeah.
so it's changing, and I think only if you patiently just work with the technology and not just look at it from a capitalist perspective, what can I get out of it? uh, you know you might do okay, but I think long term is for people who make the most of this technology.
Right. Absolutely. I think that is the same for, just decentralized space in general. I do truly believe that, a lot of people obviously came in because of the speculation aspect and how they could perhaps make a quick buck, right? And
Yeah.
the people who have actually stayed and kept building are the ones who are infatuated with the technology on some level because they do truly understand the kind of ramifications this technology can bear for, the population at large. If we are able to do right and give the user use cases which they can use in their day-to-day life.
Yeah, really. I think we'll be there when, say 5, 6 years down the line, our moms go to say like a Reliance Smart and, exchange a collectible token for exchange of sugar. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that would be wonderful, right? This is it's just stuff like this, just hearing it makes me happy. I get just imagining that, okay, decentralized technology will become such a huge part of day-to-day life, and that is what I think all of us aspire, for the technology at least, that is our aspiration, and for us as well, that whatever we are creating becomes like a very inherent part of everyday use cases for the users.
yeah. So, hopefully like more founders like us bring innovations that make it more accessible, less scary, more
Yeah.
abstracted.
Absolutely. I totally believe that, the way we kind of use this technology to make the life of people easier is what is going to really stick. And those are the platforms that are going to see tremendous success.
Yeah, in fact, that is why, lately, like since 23, so I'll tell you, 23 has been such an interesting year. I
Hmm.
saw like some very good, some very good validations and uh, like I actually went to Sotheby's this year. Like my NFT got auctioned at Sotheby's this year. And like as an artist, this was a very rewarding year. But
Right.
interesting because I've also become a founder. The time that I've spent on making art has been cut down immensely.
Hmm.
I've been doing more and more founder things because I feel like as an artist, I can leave my voice behind. But as technology that I'm building, I can help 100 more cyber shaktis come out.
Absolutely. I think that is wonderfully put. Congratulations on the kind of success that you have seen, and what makes me immensely happy, obviously, that you are from the subcontinent, and you've really made a mark in this space. So congratulations on all the good work. But I would like to again take a step back a little bit because we talk to founders with the sole intent of inspiring somebody else who's perhaps listening to this conversation. You started off, you became a glitch artist and a visual art OG. You what kind of made you transition into the world of NFTs? And then once you answer that, I'll ask you a lot more about Lenspost and the creator tools that you're working on.
Sure. So, interestingly, I was working in media. So I've
Hmm.
been network 18 extensively. I've worked in Times Network and any mainstream media company that you know in India, I've probably worked for them. So I've
Okay.
been advertising, media, digital marketing, just made my way across the ranks. So the last corporate job that I have, I was senior manager marketing at Times Network. And, like throughout this need of having a corporate career because of certain responsibilities and stuff, I could never really prioritize my art, you know and
Hmm.
I was making art in whatever time I had. Like I couldn't pursue photography because photography is an expensive hobby, and at the same time you also need to invest a lot of time in visiting places and arranging photo shoots. So because that part of my life had come to a pause, I was just working in my corporate job. So whatever spare time I had, say from Chembur to Lower Parel, if I'm traveling in a cab, in that time I used to sit and make glitch art with the existing archives that I have. And glitch art is essentially an art form where you're just playing around with the pixel data of existing JPEGs or files and turning them into a brand new piece of art. So that was
Hmm.
the only time that I was getting to make my art. And it was just a hobby. And what happened is I was just putting out all this work on social media like Instagram and Facebook. And, glitch art was so unknown in India at that point in time, say 2015 to 2019. Nobody knew of glitch art. It was just me and this underground circle of artists from across the world collecting on a Facebook group. Okay.
Right.
And what happened is my Instagram used to get like 2 likes, 3 likes, 5 likes at best, because I was just putting it out. I was not actively approaching galleries. I was not actively, trying to put my work out there.
Hmm.
What happened is one very renowned sculptor that I know in my social circle, he started picking up my concepts and ideas and started making a lot of money for himself.
Okay.
And initial reaction was shock. And
Right.
I was outraged, and I was, मैं दिखा दूंगी इसको, मैं दिखा दूंगी इसको, मैं इस पे copyrights का claim कर दूंगी, file कर दूंगी, कुछ भी कर दूंगी. And then, my smart lawyer friends told me it's not direct reproduction, so there is no way that you can claim anything at all.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because obviously you made a digital piece of work and they produced a physical sculpture.
Right.
It is apples and oranges. There is no way you can claim anything on it. And even if you have solid like proof that this guy is getting inspired by your work, you've put out your work in public domain.
Right. There's not much that you can do there then.
Exactly. And that got me to two thought processes in my head. One is that, the provenance of your work, what you're putting out, is no longer yours to claim,
Right.
on conventional social media. And two, if a renowned sculptor with like 20-25 years of work experience and name in the circuit is picking up my ideas to keep his boat running, that means my ideas are very potent. That means my work has value, which I myself have not realized.
Right.
And that was such a huge revelation for me. I immediately started Googling, how can I become an artist? How can I approach galleries? What can I do? But I didn't find much success because, the gallery scene in India is a little gatekeep. There is a level of elitism. And if I was approaching galleries abroad, I had very, very deep distrust at this point in people working in galleries. If I give you my file, you can
Right.
use
You
1,000
can.
pieces of it, and I will not see anything come back to me. And while I was battling with all these problems and how to explore this space as an artist, they say what you seek is seeking you, right? What
Yeah.
happened is somebody approached me and asked me to join their Discord. They said, we really love your work and we want to collaborate with you. And that was it. Okay. So I joined the Discord server, and I see a lot of my old glitch art friends from my Facebook group in that Discord server, and they were talking about NFTs. And I was like, hey, this sounds interesting. And
Right.
when they sat down and explained the technology to me, all the problems that I actually recounted to you, right? Provenance ka issue hai. I don't know how my file is being used. I will never
Right.
see royalties. I don't know how many editions they're going to make. There is nobody who can, claim like this ownership is mine because it's a digital file. Transfer hone ke baad, who knows who created it, right? So
Right.
all these provenance issues and the fact that there was no gatekeeping in NFTs, and that was my eureka moment in say like peak of lockdown in 2020.
Right.
And as soon as I learned about this, it took me about one week or so just to figure out KYC and getting crypto in my MetaMask. But after that, there's been no stopping back for me as Cybershakti.
Wow. Yeah, that's wonderful. And there's such an organic way of actually getting into the Web3 space as an artist, especially for you. I think this would resonate with a lot of budding artists as well as people who are trying to see
Yeah.
whether this NFT space is going to resonate with them. So now moving forward, you worked on you're working on Lenspost and host of creator tools, right? So can you tell us a little about how did you get around to the creation of Lenspost and the development of creator tools for Web3 socials? Were there any specific challenges or gaps in the market that you were aiming to, resolve perhaps, or make sure that your solution fits right there, that you identified in your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. See, for me, I understood that I wanted to make something that I could leave behind, as a legacy. I didn't want to sort of just do like a PFP project and leave, with liquidity. Because honestly, people who buy your NFTs are actually retail investors, and maintaining and respecting investor sentiments is a huge task, and I just
Right.
didn't want to be in the speculation game at all. I
Hmm.
wanted to provide something tangible in this space. So what happened is I quit Times of India. I actually started working, as a Web3 growth marketing consultant to a lot of amazing startups coming out of Web3 India and abroad. And during this time, while these opportunities were great, these were not fulfilling enough, and I actually joined Lens Protocol in 2022,
Hmm.
December. Okay. And as soon as I joined, I realized that, hey, Web3 social is a whole new ballgame altogether. Like
Right.
there are new avenues of how brand marketing is going to take place. There is new way how people are going to create content. How we saw provenance with NFTs, see provenance with content and content creators. So I actually spotted that opportunity, and I realized, hey, there is a Web3 version of Twitter coming up. There's a Web3 version of YouTube. There's a Web3 version of Instagram coming up. But content creation is still happening on Web2 tools, right?
Hmm.
Like to just make a shit post, like a GM shit post with my NFT holding a coffee mug, I need to go through 25 clicks as a user.
Right.
Right click, save as karo NFT, put it up on Canva, add your cup, add your text, download again, then go to your Web3 social, then upload. So I was like, there has to be a better way of doing things. And there
Hmm.
has to be a Web3 native way of doing things that is not just rewarding. At the same time, it makes you make the most of the assets that you have. See what
Right.
happened. So many people bought NFTs without knowing why they are buying this NFT. Somebody said, हाँ पैसे डाल दो, अच्छा return मिलेगा करके NFTs लेके रख दिया, and now everybody's liquidity is jammed in JPEGs. The projects
Hmm.
have been rugged, but you still own those, right?
Yeah.
So if you do not actively try to pump up the value of your own assets, nobody's going to come and help you.
Hmm.
You
That is
cannot.
true.
Yeah. See, projects have sold you the commercial rights of that assets. You cannot
Right.
just the project to do tie-ups and alliances so that your flow price goes up by like 30%. I'm like a very take charge of your own assets and build your own brand kind of a person. So I
Hmm.
actually make Lenspost so that more and more people can overcome challenges like, मेरे को design करना नहीं आता है, or there is no Web3 native tool to create this. And
Right.
that's where Lenspost happened.
Wow. Okay. That is, again, I have to say that this is a very organic way. Like, you saw a problem and you wanted to basically fill in that gap, and that what led you to sort of create and make move make moves on Lenspot, as well as on other creator tools. So can you elaborate a little on the one click remix capability of Lenspost and how it enables creators to enhance their NFTs with trending art, pop kits, and community part templates? What is it that makes Lenspost very different from the growing ecosystem of NFT tools?
It looks very simple, intuitive. It looks like a tool that you use in your everyday life. It's not complicated. There's nothing scary about this tool. So, A, onboarding is very simple. B,
Right.
you sign in with your wallet.
Hmm. So it's a simple, basically, when we are looking at the screen, it's a simple screen, pretty much looks like a blank PPT page or a Word page, and or a better example would be like a Canva page, and
Exactly.
then you've connected your MetaMask wallet to log in, and then there are a bunch of templates and NFTs that you can perhaps include in your artwork and your digital design.
Yeah. So these are all the NFTs that I own.
Right.
everything you see in this wallet is in my MetaMask wallet.
Right.
Now I can simply create content by drag and dropping them on my canvas.
Wow. Okay. And it's pretty much very intuitive. And if somebody has used, say, a Canva or like a presentation tool, they will be able to understand how it works. The navigation itself is very similar, right?
Yes, yes, yes. See, content creation should not be difficult. And, tools that artists use are a little more sophisticated in terms of, like Photoshop is a hard tool. So a
Right.
regular holder who has NFTs and they want to pump up the value of their, or they just want to have like a digital presence online as their PFP, right? For them, making content is so difficult. Here we give you ready templates
Hmm.
where you can, like Canva, just iterate on the template and you're good to go. Content creation should be easy, fast, and rewarding. And by rewarding, I mean we have a community pool. So the templates are actually also something that a creator can add and monetize. Like never has in the history of blockchain or content creation has a template creator or a meme template creator ever been rewarded, right? um
Absolutely.
like all our campaigns bank on memes that are organic, but meme creators get nothing out of the deal, right? So here I can actually add my creations to the community pool as a template, and if somebody uses my template, the template creator and I both make money on chain.
Wow. Just love how easy this process and how you guys have kind of broken it up in a way that even if somebody who is perhaps just starting off, they would not feel completely out of place while, trying to present their work and share their work with the world.
Yes. So now I'm going to try to share this on socials, Web3 social. See, I picked up something from the community pool in the DApp. उसके GM को मैंने switch करके hi बोल दिया. Now if I try to monetize this creation, so on the front end, this is like a very simple, fun tool, but on the back end, we have amazing infra developed where the template creator is also getting on-chain attribution automatically
Right.
without me having to search their wallet, without me having to, you know, do like
It is
30
pretty
steps.
straightforward. Like, it's easy to basically start with the monetization bit as well, because that is something that takes some while, usually for artists to, start with the monetization process. So, can you tell me a little more about the community aspect? So, I think for any NFT artist to be, really successful and do well, one of the aspects of that entire journey is community creation and making sure that you're reaching the right people. How are you guys bridging that gap?
See, so for an artist or a brand, it's very important that they treat their community with a lot of, they make them feel special, right? Like with exclusivity coming in play. So I, as a creator, or you as a creator, want to give special perks and rights to your community. So here we actually enable people to do token gated drops as well. So me as an artist, I
Right.
can I can token gate this creation, and only collectors of my assets can actually use my templates. Now, this is we're talking about, say, meme templates, but what if it's an exclusive piece of avant-garde art, right?
Hmm.
This is art that I've collected from somebody. So for me to be able to access this as a collector, and for me to be able to add my special touch to it, because as a collector we see value in certain art pieces, right? And till
Absolutely.
now the way we know NFT art is you either speculate on it, you hold hoping that it'll go up, or you trade it off. There are
Right.
only 2 or 3 ways that collectors can enjoy the art that they've collected, right? We've unlocked a whole new dimension where collector can now interact with the art and make derivatives easily.
Absolutely. This is a fun, easy, quick way to perhaps remix a bunch of art pieces that you might have or you might own and further monetize it. So I do have one question. So, because you are giving this remix capability for the end user to be able to utilize the NFTs that they own as well as some pre-made templates that you have, does this give rise to any kind of copyright issues?
Great question. So actually the thing is, if you voluntarily put it out in the community pool, you are making it available to the public by choice. We don't add
Okay.
your feelings to the community pool, you choose to add them.
Right.
And what happens is when you're sharing your assets with people, you are also getting attributed on chain. So it is a very aware decision that the user is making that it will be in the public domain. But you're also earning royalties on it.
Right. Okay. So anybody can choose to do this, and obviously, once you are choosing to do something like this, then you are eligible for some royalties, and this is an on-chain, transaction that is happening, and that kind of makes sure that
Yeah.
there is clarity and transparency for everyone involved.
Yeah. And even permissionless collabs, right? Like
Right.
we are actually enabling permissionless collabs with fair attribution given on chain. So if anybody is trying to monetize anything that you've created, you will get a percentage of it.
Right. Absolutely. Wow. I think this is a wonderful opportunity, right, for NFT artists to unlock and to be a part of a community and also to be able to perhaps collaborate with the other fellow artists. It's all about building bridges, so to say, and you guys are doing it wonderfully with communities, creators, tools, and opportunities. So, how are these connections really being facilitated? Like, I think I would love to know a little more about how you guys have been able to build on this community so far, because a lot of people struggle with it. Just the building of community aspect and finding the right people.
See, so here the platform is actually for three different kind of stakeholders. One, so we are not just B2C, we are also B2B.
Hmm.
So, for example, we've already partnered with 6, 7 different communities and hosted like content creation contests with them. We tied up with Firefly, which is like a Web3 social aggregator. So they gave
Hmm.
us their branded assets, and they gave us some background, some stickers, and they asked people to make memes around the concept of making friends and not FOMO.
Hmm.
And people gave us such wonderful entries. So that was like a fun way in which retail users made some money by participating,
Right.
but our partner also got a fresh market to capture. They got new users. They connected with the market that, or future community that they wouldn't have able to tap otherwise. And these are the kind of creations that actually people put out. So it's a very organic way of connecting communities with new users and also rewarding their existing users.
Yeah, this seems like absolutely like the feedback is pretty obvious, and you are able to get multiple stakeholders more involved in this process. But again, to the question about starting off and getting like building a community is a little like a chicken and an egg problem. That you
Right.
might have all of these wonderful artists who are putting out their work out there, but you might not be able to get the B2C or the B2B users and invested in the platform or interested. And how did you guys perhaps start building on that? Is there a secret sauce there? Did you guys do any offline events? Are you investing heavily in educational content? How are you guys going about doing this?
So it's a combination. There is actually, the secret sauce is that the recipe is custom made to you.
Hmm.
So obviously there are some existing communities that we leveraged. Like we are a big part of the Lil Nouns ecosystem. Little Nouns is a sub-DAO of the main Nouns. So obviously we sort of, did some growth hack there. We participated in their marketing challenge, and we showed them how good the tool can be for proliferation of your brand. Like we are propagating your content very easily because Nouns is CC0. So there is literally like no what do you say barrier to using their assets, right? So they had a
Right,
market found out, and we showed them the kind of organic growth led by content that's possible,
right.
and we won the round with top votes. So obviously we captured that market. So we got some new creators from the Nouns ecosystem getting curious about this DApp, and now they do regular drops with us.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so I think it's
So
always about basically finding that one niche or one community where you can shine, and that can create a bit of
yeah,
a network effect, right?
correct. And through this, we got in touch with a lot more communities. Some gaming companies reached out, so we did some contests for that gaming community. The creators from that gaming community, who came just for the contest, we funnel them into using this content creation tool for their personal branding. So, people come via contest, but then they realize the value that they can extract from this DApp, is very easy to understand. So they stick around. So the winner of the gaming background skin creation contest that we hosted, that lady sort of brands herself as the mermaid of the blockchain. And now
Right.
she's putting out content as the mermaid oracle. And every day she uses our tool to make one content piece that she can post out.
Wow. Okay. This is wonderful. I think in this day and age, there is always something, one can really find their community, at least in the virtual world,
Yeah.
and they can really figure out a way to perhaps monetize their niche or their strength. And that is what is wonderful about the way tech is growing at this moment. In your view, why do you see decentralized social networks taking the lead over other areas such as, say, the metaverse? How do you envision the role of NFTs in shaping, say, the future of social interactions on the internet? Like you gave us a good example in the beginning where we were talking about some real life use, but how do you think NFT use is going to change the way users interact virtually?
So amazing question. Like again, we covered ground that the way we know is NFTs are evolving. Like NFTs started out as speculative assets, but now NFTs are actually, they can also be used to track who followed whom when on the blockchain. So, largely as I predict, NFTs are going to play a huge role in content creation, brand marketing, etc., etc. And Web3 social is a proof of that. So, the key difference between Web2 social and Web3 social, people say data privacy and all that. ऐसा नहीं है. Users don't care about data privacy. We still
Yeah,
use AI and we share our deepest secrets with AI and stuff like that, right? We still
yeah,
post
yeah,
on Instagram and we share our content. ऐसा नहीं है. People are not really that concerned about data security. Okay, what people want is a connection.
hmm,
And
absolutely.
and what NFTs do is they make these connections more tangible. They make it more real. They bring all these social graphs and everything on chain. So okay, to break it down even further, see, we all use Twitter, and
Hmm,
Twitter is highly centralized. So what it means is Elon Musk one fine day can decide that what you put out is not fitting into his community standards, and he can block you from Twitter. So
right,
all the users that you accumulated, all the followers that you have, your 1 million followers that you've grown over 10 years on Twitter, they can go away in 1 second. And that's happened to me. Cybershakti account was banned by Twitter.
right,
I lost all my followers. And in this trustless space, your social presence is the one point of trust that your stakeholders have, right? That
right,
okay, this creator is on social and people follow them and people I know follow them, and that's your credibility, and centralized platforms can take them away. Secondly, my followers on YouTube and my followers on Instagram are not the same. I
right,
need to have like a different content strategy everywhere. And my followers, I need to funnel them from one platform to the other everywhere. Thirdly, what happens is who is making money on Web2 socials? Tell me. Who's making money? How money flows is brands sort of sponsor, they want to do like these sponsored branding exercises where
right,
they approach a platform ke upar aapko you get like these influencers who are putting out impressions, and then there are end consumers who are engaging with the content, but
hmm,
then the users who are actually spending time engaging with your content, commenting on the content that your paid post is putting out, these users are not getting anything of it. Influencers making some money, platform is making a little more money, but that is the end of it, right? Of
right,
how we digital marketing. Um, Everything changes in Web3 social just by the simple technology of an NFT. Now,
right,
let me explain. What happens is users are actually incentivized on chain for amplifying my content. So you as a follower see my content on,
Hmm.
say, a Web3 social platform, say on Lens protocol, because I know that ये contracts वहाँ पे live हैं. What happens is if you retweet my post, that means you're amplifying my content. And if
Hmm.
somebody sort of engages with my content via your repost, if they end up buying or collecting anything, you get an on-chain share.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just affiliate, but put on chain.
Right.
And even just for and even if nobody buys it, I can still incentivize you for amplifying it, because the smart contracts are designed in certain way. But as I said, on the front end, it's very simple. You're just retweeting. तुम सिर्फ एक button दबा रहे हो. If you follow me on a Web3 social platform, you're just clicking a follow button. You do not have to do anything scary. What happens is backend पे एक follower NFT है that gets dropped into your wallet, which if you
Right.
go to OpenSea, you will find in hidden corner somewhere in the hidden files. It's not even on your like main wallet. It's not spamming your anything. But
Hmm.
that airdrop NFT actually serves as a proof on chain that you followed me on certain day. And what happens is in future, I will know who followed me exactly when, because every token ID is different. So in future, if I get to like say 10 million users and I want to reward my earliest backers, I will know who were my earliest backers and I can reward them appropriately.
Right, right. Absolutely. That is the beauty of, all of these on-chain transactions and basically, yes, creating perhaps a social
Yeah.
network and social interaction community
Yeah.
in the decentralized space because, the proof is there and it is decentralized in nature. So it's not like it can be tampered with. And that itself, I think, should be a big factor in why people should look more and more at building solutions in the decentralized space. So, as someone who has been an evangelist of the space and delivered, you've delivered keynotes on NFTs in the metaverse, what is the kind of key insight or message you often find resonating with your audience quite a bit? And how do you go about educating, people about Web3 or NFTs in general? Because even now, we are a far cry away from mass adoption and people really understanding this space.
So again, it goes back to a breaking it down in simple to understand, anecdotes,
Right,
simple things. People understand
right.
simple things. Nobody wants to get into the heavy lifting part, right? So
Hmm.
one is keep my conversations simple. B, when I'm educating people, I obviously, emphasize that they understand what the technology, it's like, it's like whatever technology you're given, it's like your created tool, right? Like for a cricketer, it's like having a great bat, right? But
Hmm.
you are the magic. We always have to remember that technology is just, it's just a tool. The way for a cricketer, a bat is a tool. For an artist, a brush is a tool. This technology as a creator is a tool. You are the
Right.
magic.
Yeah.
NFT बना के पैसे नहीं आने वाले. NFTs are not like Aladdin ka chirag where you mint an NFT and then suddenly you are a millionaire. Well, that also happens. It's Web3, anything can happen. वो
That's
भी
true.
हुआ है, वो भी हुआ है. But ultimately, it's how you add value into the ecosystem or how you extract the value from the ecosystem. So you need to be able to understand the technology fully so that you can make the most of the opportunities that it will bring you.
Absolutely. I think it's all about what is the value that you're adding into perhaps the potential users or the potential audience's life in some way that is going to be the game-changing aspect of this entire journey, I think. And
Yeah.
that is also going to define what is going to stick with the end user. So as again, somebody who's transitioned, from and not transitioned, but you've donned a lot of hats, and now as the founders hat that you are donning. Can you tell us a little about the challenges that you've faced so far in your journey?
So honestly, because I have worked with some amazing founders in this space and they've given me the opportunity to understand, the challenges that come with sort of, starting a business in Web3, especially in the
Hmm.
depth of bear market. So luckily, my work with other founders had me prepared mentally. of what to
Right.
expect. And I think again the whole thing is about alignment. So obviously, the resources that you have, um, in terms of the people that you hire, you know just the fact is that I have managed to find people that are amazing at what they do, and they're very passionate about what they do. And as a founder, I have tried to not make the mistakes that my past employers would have perhaps made at some point. That is,
Right.
my developers cannot grow if they're only working for me. So encourage their passions, encourage them to be in more ecosystems than mine, because that's how they can add more value to my product as well.
Hmm.
So we have
Wow.
a yeah, like
That's
my
that's a very refreshing view. Like usually people are very they don't want to perhaps have their team members be a part of several ecosystems in a full-time manner, perhaps. Maybe what you're encouraging more growth and learning, right? And I think that is great, because that is something that does help in, because an individual's growth ultimately contributes to the company growth.
yeah, they feel happy here. They feel working, happy working for me. Would you imagine these guys started out as interns? Now they are like my lead devs, and I proudly like show them off in demo days as like, ये लोग ही है जो आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, मैं इनके साथ साथ चल रही हूँ. And I think ensuring that I've nurtured my resources well is what makes me very happy as a founder. And that eliminated all my challenges of retaining talent, of getting the right people to do the job, because they are so happy here, they only bring other people to join.
Right, right. Again, the network effect kicks in, right? If somebody is
Correct,
happy, then they would obviously want to get other people involved as well.
correct,
Wonderful to
correct,
know. This
correct.
this is this is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and they they sort of joined me knowing that I was a figure in the space, who sort of is always innovating. So that trust factor also played in a key role here, because they knew किसके साथ जा रहे हैं. And to me, because see, I'm not like a non in the space, right?
Hmm.
Like I am cyber Shakti, and अगर शक्ति कुछ कर रही है तो सोच समझ के बना रही होगी.
Right.
Because to me, my credibility is everything in the space, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I had more to lose in that sense. Uh,
Right. So obviously that kind of is there, and that can be a driving factor for you to really take on the bigger challenges and move forward.
yeah. But it's good that we push each other, and seeing their passion also keeps me, confident that I'm going in the right direction, and this is how I want to continue going as well. So just been happy go lucky, I guess. And we do work hard. So like every day, these like 2 hours we connect with each other, jam with each other, set goals together. We ideate on where we want to go from here. We've
Right.
already done and delivered the MVP, and we have a working product. It's an alpha. It's getting closer to beta launch right now. So, where do we want to go from here? Do we want to focus on the infrastructure? Do we want to focus on the creative tooling? Do we want to add a social layer to this? Like I have a team member who was very passionate about doing in the social space, right? And I was like, बाहर क्यों जाना है? बाहर उसने कोशिश की एक दो बार, he didn't get a good response, discourage हो गया. I said, patience. We are already multi-chain. We are present on Solana. We are present on like EVMs, all EVMs, Optimism, Base, Zora. So we already like integrated into Farcaster, into Lens. I was like, hey, like we ourselves, our product us itself is like a social hub, right? So how difficult is it for us to add a social layer to this? And
Right.
so it's like we grow together, and whatever that we're doing is like it's thought through. Like we experience these new products and chains, and then we identify that okay, this is where we see a lack, and maybe this is how we can add value back to the product.
Right, absolutely. It's basically like a organism in itself, and now wherever you are seeing that there is a gap, you are trying to plug it in, and obviously with the amazing team one can really move mountains. So what is like a next big milestone for you guys?
So for us, the big next milestone is going to be opening up for beta. So currently, we are in closed alpha, and
Hmm.
we have about 30,000 clicks on the tool. We have around, say, 300 users who are recurrent, who are coming again and again, and making different stuff. And we've already done like 7, 8 partnered campaigns. So I think the big thing will be to just open it up for more and more people.
And when do you expect to do that?
So around Jan end.
All right, awesome. So looking forward to that. I think a lot of people would want to check out the tool and be a part of this movement as well. So, Shakti, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you, and I completely lost track of time. I would love to understand from you, like if somebody wants to perhaps sign up and be on a part of one of the first beta testers for your platform, how can they go about doing that? Should they get in touch with you?
So people can either follow me or Lenspost on Twitter. Lenspost
Right.
is Lenspost XYZ. We have a sign up link on the form. You can sign up and we'll be in touch with you.
Awesome. So that's one straightforward way, guys, to get in touch with Shakti and what they're building with Lenspost. So Shakti, once again, thank you so much for making the time to speak to me, speak to our listeners. And now I would like to ask you the last question, which is something I ask everybody who comes on the show. You've been on the other side. You were an artist. You were in the Web2 space, and now you're in the Web3 space. What would be your top two suggestions for people to start living on blockchain? Perhaps want to be NFT artists or people who are hoping to build in this space.
Don't overthink, don't overplan. What I've learned is Web3 is wild, wild west. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I think that is good advice. That's short, sweet, and absolutely correct. I think it is the wild, wild west out there, wild, wild west tech frontier, and you should just go for it, do it, don't overthink, because
Exactly.
there is so much decision paralysis that comes into play, and that's not really taking you anywhere. You might as well make a move and see what you can perhaps achieve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, anything can happen, right? Like a marketing
Right.
manager, who was a hobby artist, suddenly is representing India in Sotheby's, is suddenly a tech founder.
Right, right. Absolutely. Anything can happen. And, if you really have a clarity of thought and where you want to perhaps reach, just go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid of failing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking out the time, Shakti. This has been a lovely conversation. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, no, no. I do want to connect with you offline and learn more about dApps.
Absolutely. Well, for that, we can have like a separate conversation. But thank you once again for making the time to speak to me.
Yes, okay, okay. Maybe I can add like a quick line. See, I became Cybershakti because I kept confidence in myself. It's not because I'm special.
Right.
I am, if I can do this, anybody can do this.
I think it is just about going and putting yourself out there and going ahead and
Yeah,
doing what you want to do. I think that is what kind of makes all the difference. There are people who will think about doing something, and there are people who will go out and do those things.
just do this and don't stick to echo chambers. If everybody's agreeing with you, that means you're in the wrong room. So go out there, be an explorer, make mistakes. That's how I
Right.
could push myself and, keep ahead. That's the only secret sauce that I'd like to share.
Yeah, I think that's a good secret sauce and a good way to close on the show. Thank you so much for once again for making the time to speak to me.